There's been some increased tensions. The Ghana Armed Forces has come out with a statement on the corridors of power. How is that? There seems to be high tension in the area because of that engagement that they had. The Armed Forces says it neutralized people or 6 people who were armed, but it's not really neutralization.
Yeah, thank you. The Bawku issue is very worrying because, in the first place, Bawku West has had report of influx of refugees, from southern Burkina Faso as a result of jihadists invading those enclaves. And so when the number of people that are moving about in the area has gone up. And there is also a local or internal conflict that has been going on for some time now. And so the military's, the allegations against the military of being high-handed is something that is worrying. And they've explained that there's been situations that they've encountered people who were armed and were exchanging fire with them. And definitely, if you are in a peacekeeping operation and you encounter people who are engaging you in battle, definitely the military that is armed will not look on and let go. They will want to defend and protect themselves. And so let's get into the bottom. Honorable Azoka is also disagreeing, and he's made a good call that if the military says there was engagement and others, let there be evidence to show that indeed the people were armed and go. I've listened to some of the people on your network yesterday night when Alfred was engaging that some of them said they were in their gardens working and cool, and they were pounced on. Others said they wanted to go and see what was happening at a certain point, and then they got beaten by the military and all that. Whatever it is, I would want the military to exercise a bit of restraint. You are there to bring peace and not to brutalize the citizens. You are there to protect the citizens and then some of the refugees that have come in. So let's do everything to ensure that the people's safety is guaranteed. You are there to bring peace. The warring factions and co, see how you can engage them properly. The police is also there. If there's somebody you suspect that is doing what is aggravating the war situation, you hand them over, you arrest and hand them over to the police to go and interrogate them, so that we will not be having this tension heightening in the place. The Member of Parliament is also worried about the situation, the Honorable Mahama Yariga, and he is even thinking, he's gone to the sub-region and said, if we can have a sub-regional standing army that can wade in to intervene in some of these, I think is a good. I've always made the call that ECOMOG should have been a standing sub-regional army. When we use them for the Liberian issue, it should be that, so that if there's destabilization or something within the sub-region, they can go with a collective approval of ECOWAS to go and stop such occurrences. But now that we have an influx of people, we are worried. The national security and the army have assured us that we are not having jihadist infiltration into Ghana. But once refugees are coming in, you cannot tell whether some of them are part of them and causing,
of such elements.
Yes, of such elements, causing troubles there. And so let's not just write the military off that what they are saying is completely. It may not be the locals who are engaging them. It may be somebody, but they have assured us that we don't have the jihadists in our country. Let them tone down and then engage the people and protect them well. I know that NADMO is also supporting the process. The Catholic Diocese in the Upper East is also supporting the refugee situations and co, so that we will not have heightened tension there. We are doing everything. Government is doing everything to ensure that peace is brought to Bawku and its environs, so that we can go on with our activities. Schools and others are having problems in the area. Okay, so let's allow the military to do their work. And indigenes, if indeed there are people who are engaging them, let them stop that, so that we can have peace.
Malik, the Member of Parliament for Zebula, Cletus Avoka, does indicate there's clearly no chieftaincy dispute. That's what he claims.
Yeah.
Okay. But we also know that intermittently, and our friends there, they say the town is not safe. They'll keep telling you that their engagement either between factions, and now we have military directly engaging would-be armed citizens. Does that heighten the tension in the area, or does that also negate government effort in trying to bring or calm the place?
You see, I feel passionate whenever issues of Bawku crops up. And I feel passionate because I spent so many, Christmas festivities in Bawku. I remember at age 6.
Well, you come from Bawku?
Yeah, absolutely. So I spent so many there. And on a repeated basis, I remember how Bawku was fast, developing during those times. Bawku was a very good place during Christmas festivities. My dad would take us there, and then we enjoyed it. We enjoyed the entire township until these crises were reintroduced again. Of course, it was there before some of us were born, but it was reintroduced. And you see, my worry in this particular matter is that, one, where is our chieftaincy minister? I'm asking you, Roland. Where is our chieftaincy minister?
I saw him in a photo last time.
The last time I saw him, he was in an ambulance. They brought him to Parliament to cast his vote on a wheelchair. And since then, he hasn't reported.
Subsequently, I saw him in Parliament too as well.
Absolutely. And
what's your point?
The point is that we need to set up and we need to engage the relevant authorities and stakeholders in this particular matter. You see, let me reiterate the point made by the Honorable Avoka in terms or regards to the fact that there are no chieftaincy disputes in Bawku. No.
Sure. And
the reason being that there's been finality to the matter of chieftaincy disputes in Bawku. The ruling was done in 2003. No, I'm very passionate about this. And I'm passionate because there's been a ruling on the matter. The final ruling was done in 2003. I remember it was a case between Ibrahim Adams versus Ano and then Agugurago. In 2003, the Supreme Court upheld Naba Asigri Azoka II as the paramount chief of the Kosa traditional area. And that was upheld. And so, Bawku has one paramountcy. And that matter was stated clearly in that particular ruling. In fact, recently, when President Akufo-Addo visited Bawku, he went to visit Naba Asigri Azoka and stated there clearly at the palace that Bawku had one paramount chief, and that was Naba Azoka II. And so, why will people want us to look? Let's go engage on the matter. Let's meet stakeholders. Let's try and then bring resolution. There's been resolution to the matter. And I think the security agencies need to set up. The chieftaincy minister needs to set up. They need to go there and ensure that sanity prevails. You see, in this particular matter, the people who were killed, and I feel sad that, you see, we are usually going to discuss this. It's going to be the usual discussions we have. At the end of the day, they will say autopsy, and that ends it. First of all, we need to arrive at a point where we are able to determine the direction from which the bullets came from. And that would be understood after autopsy. And some of us who have had first-hand information about the matter indicated that a lot of them were shot from the back, which meant that they were running for their lives. And so how do you engage people? How do you shoot people who are not armed and armed people who are running for their lives? And if you listen to Honorable Avoka, he stated clearly that, look, no, not even a single knife, not even a cutlery set was retrieved from any of these people killed. Okay. And so how were these people armed? In fact, there was a young boy who was even hiding in a bush. He got bent to ashes. And I feel sad that people are taking advantage of this particular situation. But you see, we need to set up. There need to be finality to this particular matter because I'm passionate about it. There's a ruling to this matter. Some can cross-check from the PNDC Law 75, and then you get a clarity to this particular issue. There's one Bawku Naba who is Naba Asigri Azoka II. No one else anywhere, and we need to give regard to him. And then any resolution that's supposed to be done should be done around this particular entity because both political parties, and I must admit, have come to a conclusion that we would respect this particular ruling because the president today, who is a lawyer, was involved in that particular matter. And in fact, he is a key, he's a key person so far as that particular ruling was done at that time. And so I believe that just as the Supreme Court stated that we should not appeal this matter in any court. In fact, it said that it's not going to hear this matter in any court, and no court should allow for such a case again to be brought before it. It means that all our legal, corridors have been exhausted, and we need to set up and bring finality to this matter. We can't continue pumping people in the name of peacekeeping. We are going to, people are going to mount tents here. We are going to resolve the matter. Calm down. Okay, you cool down. No, one party is wrong, and they must be told in their faces that they are wrong. As simple as that. One party is right, and that party must be protected. As simple as that. That is how we are going to get an end to this matter. And so I support the calls from the members of parliament there, meeting and then discussing this matter. And I'm going to personally, pursue this particular matter because I'm passionate about this.
I'm sure
and I believe strongly that Bawku must be brought back to what it was. Because I feel sad. Look, have you visited there in recent times? Look, it's so quiet. It's so empty. People, properties. We having business flights out of the town. People are moving into other communities, and the whole place is. It's so unfortunate that we have to get to this point. And so I'll repeat that call, as stated by the minority MPs. From that particular area. That look, finality must be brought to this matter. One party is wrong, the other party is right, as per the ruling of the Supreme Court. And I'm a respecter of law, and I'll respect this ruling. I'll give recourse to all our legal corridors, and somebody must set up to bring this particular matter
these are your
to an end.
Submissions.
Point
These
well
are your
made.
personal submissions, right?
In this matter.
Okay. Look, we have to bring peace, Lawyer Dantua. How do we do that?
There's a chain of command, isn't there?
There is.
There's a chain of command. The chain of command in the army. Who gave the order for that to happen?
Big question.
Yes. That chain of command should be questioned. Who gave the order? Were they being fired at, that they also fired back, or they just went in and had a firing spree?
Well, they said the 6 were armed.
That is what they said. Is it the truth?
So you're saying we should investigate?
Of course. And it's not only those who shot. If it is found that they had a shooting spree, then all those in that line of chain of command should be sanctioned. Now, the most scary thing about Bawku, and Bawku is in the upper part of Ghana, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
near the Michigan border.
Right at the tip. Huh?
Just a lot of distance, you find that you have Burkina Faso.
Yes, but the porous borders, aren't they? The porous borders.
Very porous.
And the, what do you call it? What do those people who are creating problems in Burkina, what are they called?
The jihadists.
The jihadists. Look, the moment they infiltrate, they might not come in to practice their trade in terms of what is doing in Burkina Faso. They are doing in Burkina Faso, killing people, burning churches. They might not come into Ghana to do that. They might come into Ghana because of commercial advantages. That is why they might come in. And what are these commercial advantages I talk about? First, galamsey. If they know they can come and practice galamsey here and make money to fund their operations, Ghana becomes a hub for them, doesn't it?
Yes.
They might not come and do the killing, but it becomes a hub for them. And once it becomes a hub for them, you get others also coming in. And that is the challenge. The moment Ghana now decides that, look, like the Fulani headsmen, that we do not agree to what these people are coming to do, that is when they will start that kind of challenge of killing Ghanaians in that area. Then it becomes a full-blown conflict. Are we ready?
What do you mean by are we ready?
Do we have the wherewithal to stop such a thing?
Did you hear the president when he went to meet the United States and said that the Wagner forces of Russia were at the fringes of the border, even though there are questions and observations that could be a diplomatic gaffe on his part, that because of the Wagner forces or those mercenaries aligned to the Russian government, it also means that the U.S. needs to do something about that part of our border, right?
We should look at
What's
how
in our interest?
ourselves we can get our army ready. Then if we ask for extra help, they come and add value to it. We need to be confident that Ghana's army can control the porous borders we have.
You have assured us.
Assurance isn't being convinced that they can do it. Now, the question of porous borders, government after government after government and after government have really done nothing about
They
it.
pay lip service.
And it is a big question for the security of this country. Porous borders. Is it even on the manifesto of political parties? Is it? Do we hear political parties, including my own? I think our last manifesto, we talked about porous borders of this country. And I keep saying, the moment we start onshore drilling, the moment we start onshore drilling, if we are not careful, we can become like Nigeria, where onshore drilling is concerned.
But the onshore drilling, where we have oil currently, is in the Voltaic Basin.
The Voltaic Basin stretches from south, 3/4 of Ghana's landmass.
So that's from Sopon.
From the Keta area right through Ashanti, right up.
That's oil on the inshore.
The whole area
Inland.
is covered.
That's dangerous.
Now, the question is, if we start onshore drilling, are we going to demarcate some of these places? That, okay, there's oil here.
You're saying that it makes us prone to
it makes us prone.
terrorist attacks.
Yes, terrorist attacks. The Nigerians who are in Nigeria
The Niger Delta.
creating problems
They might migrate to
might
this
migrate in here. Porous borders.
because it's the
Porous
oil that's
borders.
attracting
Yes,
beehive.
it makes money.
Makes a lot of
Porous borders. And so it is one question.
What should we be doing
If
now?
the president is going out to tell the Americans, ABCDE is happening, the Americans will ask you, are your borders secure? First point of call. And if your borders aren't secure, no matter artillery you bring in, no matter what begging you go and beg, they will infiltrate. We've got to be able to do something about our porous borders. Government after government in this Fourth Republic hasn't done much. Can we do a Trump?
No.
Is it possible to do a Trump?
Build a
Donald
wall.
Trump.
Build
Yes.
a wall.
Build
Is-
the
yeah,
Mexican
yeah,
border
yeah.
like the way he
Is
did
it
from,
possible to be a Trump?
the Texas
So let me
area.
ask a question. When did the Fourth Republic start?
1993.
January 93.
How many years is it?
About 30 years.
If we were to build a wall, wouldn't we have finished?
I know secondary
So you're
schools
saying
that are
we
still
would-
building
wouldn't we
You're
walls.
saying that if,
Wait,
like everything we have started by now, we would
wait.
have. Yes.
That's first. Two, do we not have cement manufacturing companies in this country?
Jata Cement. There's Jata Cement.
Apart from Jata Cement,
Gas cement is there.
how many do we
There's
have?
Jata Cement.
How many do we
I
have?
know of Jata Cement.
There's
How many,
gossip.
how many do we have? We have about three.
Diamond is
Eh?
also there.
I know of Jata Cement.
Well, let's say we have
Ibrahim
three.
Mohammed's Jata Cement.
Wait, let's say we have.
Baba, good morning to you.
Let's say we have three. If we contracted these three, every year, give us a certain quantum of supply of cement at a certain
We
price.
believe in the walling.
I believe in the walling. I believe in the walling.
That's a lot of money gone with.
It's gone waste.
Yes.
So how are we going to protect the porous borders?
This government deployed
If we are
team
not
to
going to
protect
use,
the borders. We were angry.
if
We
we
were
are not,
happy.
listen, if we are not going to use, if we are not going to use,
2020.
if we are not going to use a wall,
You
if
didn't
we're not
read
going
the
to use,
Auditor General's
if we're not going to use a concrete wall,
Yes.
then we should wire.
You're saying
We
that
should
there
wire.
needs
The
to be some
por-
fortification.
Yeah, the porous borders is a problem. No matter what we do, no matter what American we bring in, no matter what Russian mercenary comes, because of porous borders, they will enter.
Yeah.
And the moment they enter, and they hide within the community, and they start giving money to our youth
We're
to
in
change
trouble.
their mind, we're in big trouble.
Jihadis.
But as
So-
of now, the
so
place
it is the
protected.
porous
The
borders
national
that is
security has
important.
assured that
The
the
porous
place
borders.
is protected. Yeah, it's a good call, but national security is assured us that the
Allah
place is
illallah.
protected. But once refugees are coming in, it's worried. Malik has
we have
brought
to end
to
the
our
discussion.
You say national security has assured us.
Malik,
Can we trust
tell
national
us
security?
something.
In this particular matter,
Am I supposed to answer that?
I'm asking.
Ask him.
The question I'm asking.
I can. When I go and say,
What did he ask?
when I go and say, they'll say I'm unprofessional.
Okay.
Oh, he asked a question.
Roland,
Malik.
I really feel sad
For the
about
Bawku
this
issue.
I really feel sad.
I see that you're very passionate about it.
everybody-
If the issue is
everybody-
statement, I'll send it to you. I'll take your number and send
because
it.
I feel that
But Malik, you are right.
those days
doesn't
we
want
used to
to
go
acknowledge
and have fun. I mean, it was one of the
that-
liveliest
yes.
places I could
No,
ever
a
be.
section of the
Sitting behind the
people doesn't
donkey
want to
bags
acknowledge the
and all
chief.
that. I
Then
mean,
what
My brother,
happens?
if we don't take care, it will
Huh?
descend
Malik.
southwards.
I feel
Malik
passionate.
Basintali is a deputy
A
And we have a
section of the
chieftaincy
for the
minister who
NDC.
doesn't care.
So if
And
you say
then
there's no chief,
Lawyer Jantua is a chairman for.
Not the chieftaincy, but the chieftaincy minister is not.
Can you play the president's video when he visited Bawku? I wish they could play it.
so
unless you
also
should
can
replace
we
the
all
chieftaincy.
acknowledge
You remember?
it?
I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
but all
Lawyer
parties-
Jantua, thank you for
He
passing
should
by.
replace the
CPC.
chieftaincy
Do we have the president's video?
But all for gold,
All right.
all for
Yeah, well, he
all
stated
for
that.
gold is a good policy.
Georgia, you see, is the director of communications for the National Disaster Management Organization. Also speaks for the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Good for oil. Now,
Get into the details. You see
we had 41,000 metric tons of oil coming in.
about 12%.
Basintali claims that it was diesel.
Cash for diesel.
And now it's been confirmed by the deputy energy minister that we use cash to make the purchases.
Gold can be transformed into cash.
You see, today you have been disturbing power.
Okay, let's make it dollar.
When I say you say I'm behaving unprofessionally, but make sure you get interactive and always add the hashtag TV3Ghana. Today we have a big conversation, and the conversation definitely is about how we can put together many other related things. John Hughes also we're passing through the show as well. We have some big discussions on consolidating Johnny's Bites, also all that he'll be doing on 3FM, the rest of the channels right here in the Media General Group. Make sure you stick and stay right here on TV3 New Day.